Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to continue with our chapter number 3, Basic Structural Modeling. In yesterday's session, we have seen what is modeling, features of modeling, then what are the class model, then we have seen the examples of classes and class model, what is abstraction, then we have seen some examples of classes and their relationships. Okay, so today we are going to see about objects. Okay, here we have seen about classes, then examples, what is class, then graphical representation of class. Okay, then we have seen what is attributes, what is class operations. We have seen the examples of attributes and classes. We have seen the responsibilities of that class. Okay, we have seen the visibility of for that class, that is public, private, and protected. Okay, so today we are going to continue with this session. We are going to see about objects. Okay, so here object is an instance or occurrence of a class. What object is? It is an instance or occurrence of that class. Here the objects of same class share common semantic. Okay, common semantic purpose and also have been common attributes and behavior. The objects are having, if that object is from the same class, then it will share the common semantics and their attributes and their behavior, that is their attributes and their operations. Okay, so object represents some real world entity. What objects is? It is a real time entity or real world entity. Okay, so it consists of properties and methods which tells us how to access these properties. Whenever we are going to declare any objects, it has some properties to access that methods. Okay, then every object has a unique identity. Every object has a unique identity, that is that distinguishes by their inherent existence and not by their properties. By properties we are not going to identify that object, we are going to identify that object by their identity. Okay, so every object has their, sorry, every class having their objects. Okay, so we can see the example of object like, for example, Kavita and Arjun with same properties, that are having name, roll number, their attributes. Okay, so these are the objects of the class student. Okay, student is one class, and there are two students with their same properties of that classes. Okay, so here we are going to see the comparison of objects and classes with examples. Okay, here you can see the type. Okay, type is occurrence. So what is the example of class here? Alarm. Okay, alarm is the example for class, and the type is occurrence. So what is the example of object related to that class? Alarm like fire alarm, burglar alarm. Okay, so next type is things. Okay, so things included like class like car. Okay, car is one of the class. So what is the object of for that class? Like Ferrari, I-20. Okay, then external entities. Type is external entities. So whenever we are going to consider external entities, like class like door. Okay, it is external entity. So example of object is like fire door. Okay, then next type is roles. So roles, example for that class is teacher. Teacher is a class for roles, having some roles. Then what is the object of for that class? Like teacher, Snehal, Kiran. Okay, these are the object of that teacher class. Then organizational units. Okay, type is organizational units. Example for that is Wipro is the class. Okay, and then object of that class is like oil production, computer production, etc. Okay, this is the simple comparison based on types. Okay, examples of classes and example of objects. Okay, then we have seen some examples for class diagrams, their notations. Okay, notations like class name, their attributes, operations. Okay, how to represent class, what is the visibility. In exam you, in exam there is a question like draw the notation for class patient, class student with their visibility. So you have to draw the class diagram for that, like patient, student with their visibility. Here you always remember that plus is for public, hash is for protected, and minus is for private. Okay, so these are the access specifier or access specification for attributes or methods. Okay, so we have seen the object diagram. Okay, so it may be asked like Draw the object notation for class patient. So whenever we are going to draw the class patient, so patient is having some attributes, some methods or some responsibilities. We have to mention their visibilities, okay, while declaring the attributes and while declaring the operations. Then we have to draw the object for that class patient, okay. So like patient name with how to declare the objects, patient name, for example, object colon and class name, underline that, okay. Then declare their attributes with their visibility, okay. So we have to uh, draw the object like diagram like this, okay. So there are some questions like draw the object notation for class this, draw the class notation for some, okay. So there may be questions like draw the object notation for class passenger. Okay, so we have to define the object passenger with possible attributes and operations with visibility. Okay, so we have to draw the class diagram and object diagram for given thing. Okay, there may be a question for 1 mark in exam. Okay, so we have seen what is the attributes and values. We have seen the functions with visibility. Okay, visibility is like private, okay, private, protected and public. Private means we are going to assign visibility like here you can see private minus sign before that attribute, okay. So private means it is available only to the current class, okay. Then protected, that is hash. We are going to declare or define hash before that attribute. Here protected means it is available to the current and inherited class, okay. And public means mention the plus sign before the attribute, that is public. It is available to the current and other classes, okay. Throughout the program we can access those attributes, okay. So there will be questions like what is meant by protected visibility. We have to define or we have to give some explanation regarding that visibilities, okay, for 1 mark, okay. So next point is common modeling techniques, okay. So there are 4 common modeling techniques. First one is modeling the vocabulary of system. Second one is modeling the distribution of responsibilities in a system. Then modeling non-software things and modeling primitive types. Okay. So first one is modeling the vocabulary of a system. Here classes are used to model the abstractions, okay, that are drawn from the problem. We are having problem definition. Based on that problem definition, we are going to declare classes, okay. We are going to create the classes. What that classes is used for model the abstractions. Abstractions means that classes contain some hidden data for that problem definitions, okay. So CRC card technique, we have seen the CRC cards, okay. This technique or use case based analysis techniques, okay. There are 2 techniques. CRC card or use case based analysis techniques are best methods to find this abstraction. How to find this abstraction? Based on CRC card technique or based on use case based analysis. Okay. So to model the vocabulary of system, what we need, we have to identify the things that users or implementers use to describe the problem or solution. We have to identify the things that are that user is going to describe in problem definition or for solution. Okay. So for each abstraction, we have to identify the corresponding responsibility. For every abstraction, we have to identify the responsibilities of that classes, okay, or object, or for that objects, we have to identify their responsibilities. For each class, we have to provide the attributes and operations. For every class, we have to give some attributes and some operations which are required to handle the responsibilities. To handle that responsibilities, there should be some attributes and some operations for that class, okay. This is the to model vocabulary of a system, okay. Second one is modeling the distribution of responsibilities in a system. So to model the distribution of responsibility, here the abstraction provides a balanced set of responsibilities, okay. What that means, we don't want any one class to be too big or too small, okay. So whenever we are going to model the distribution for the responsibilities of system, we have to provide some balanced set of responsibility. That means it is not like that give all responsibilities to only one class or give all responsibilities to big or very small class, okay. We have to divide that we have to distribute that responsibilities between separate classes, okay. Then the UML is used to help us to visualize and specify this balance of responsibilities. There are several diagrams, okay, in UML. So by using that, we are going to balance that responsibilities between several models or between several classes, okay. So for that, we have to identify the set of classes that work together to carry out the behavior, okay. We have to identify the number of classes for that, assigning or distributing the responsibilities for that system, okay. We have to identify the set of responsibilities for each of the class. We have to identify the responsibilities for every classes, okay. So for example, we are having teacher as a class, student as a class, so we have to identify their responsibilities, teachers responsibilities, student responsibilities in their classes, okay. So by their working, by their work assignment, we have to distribute their responsibilities, okay. So we have to split the classes that have too many responsibilities into smaller abstraction. For example, any one class is having multiple responsibilities, so we have to divide, or we have to split that class into several smaller abstractions, okay. And we have to reallocate their responsibilities based on their behavior, okay. So that is all about distribution and distribution of responsibilities, okay. So third one is modeling non-software things. Modeling non-software things. In this, model the things that are abstracting as a class. For example, customer in retail system. We have to abstract the class, okay, based on their behaviors. So we have to create a new building block by using stereotypes, okay, to specify the new semantic. Here you can see the stereotypes. Like in next diagrams, we are going to see the stereotypes. We have to model the non-software things, okay. Here, see the example of modeling non-software things. Account receivable agent is there. So robot is the class. These are the, yeah, this is the non-software things. Okay, it is a hardware part. So we have to model the class for this hardware part. Okay, that is non-software thing. Then fourth one is modeling primitive types. Okay, we have to model the primitive types. Like model the things we are abstracting as a type or an enumeration. Okay, which is represented using class notation with the appropriate stereotype. Okay, use some constraint to specify the range of values associated with the type. Okay, so we have to assign some stereotypes, we have to assign some enumerations for that type, okay. So here you can see the example of modeling primitive types. Here you can see the we have to provide the type for that attribute, okay. We have to provide the range for that type. Here we are, here take the example of integer. We are providing the values range of for that type, okay. So we have to provide the enumeration for boolean operator, that is false or true, okay. Then we have to provide enumeration for status, like it is idle, it is working, or it is error. These are the stereotypes, okay. Yeah, these are the stereotypes. This is the modeling primitive types, okay. So next part is we are going to see some relationships, okay. In first two chapters, or before, or in yesterday session, we have seen some relationships, okay. So there may be questions in exam like state any two kinds of relationship in UML, or for 1 mark, what do you mean by relationship? Explain different kinds of relationship for 5 marks, okay. These are some questions, okay. So there are four dependencies in, or sorry, there are four kinds of relationships, okay. So first one is dependencies, that means uses. Then generalization, okay, that means inheritance is a, generalization means is a inheritance, okay. Then association, that defines the relationship, okay, association. Then fourth one is aggregation, that is whole part, okay. So these are the four kinds of relationship in your structural modeling, okay. So this is the, a relationship is rendered as a path with different kinds of lines used to distinguish the different relationship. There are, always remember, there is a four relationships, okay. First one is dependencies, then generalization, then association and aggregation, okay. So here you can see the examples. Here inheritance means this is the generalization, okay, generalization of this class, okay. How to declare the generalization? See the arrow, okay. So this is the generalization, okay. This is the realization, that is aggregation, that is whole part, okay. Here you can see the how to define that realization or aggregation. Here you can see the association, how to give association between classes, okay. Association relationship, okay. Then here you can see this is the stereotype dependency. Here you can see that friend is the stereotype. How to give stereotypes? See the syntax. Okay. So this is the stereotype dependencies. Okay. So first we will see the dependency relationship. Okay. So a dependency is a using relationship. Okay. It uses. Okay. That is using relationship. It is also called as a using relationship. Dependency between two classes. So what it specifies, it's specifying that change in specification of one thing. Change in the specification of one thing. For example, class set top center. Here you can see the set top center is the class. Okay. So it may affect another thing that uses, for example, a class channel iterator. Okay, but not necessarily to the reverse. Okay, here you can see this is the dependency relationship. Okay, what it affects with the channel iterator class. Okay, here you can see the dependency between set top controller class and channel iterator class. See the stereotype. Okay, and how to assign dependency dash arrow. Okay, this is the dependencies example. Okay, how it render as a dashed line. Okay, directed to the thing that is dependent on. Okay, so this channel iterator is dependent on this set top controller class, so that's why this arrow is pointed towards the set top controller class. Okay, this is the dependency between these two classes. Okay, this channel iterator is dependent on set top controller class. Okay, this is all about dependency relationship. Here you can see another example, car. Okay, car is having wheel. See the use, this stereotype is use. Okay, so this is the dependency. Okay, wheel is dependent on, or car is dependent on that wheel. Okay, this is the dependent class. Okay, so this is the way of declaring or assigning dependency relationship between the two classes. Okay, so there are number of stereotypes we are going to assign. That means there are 17 such stereotype, like bind stereotype. Okay, there are several stereotypes: derive, friend, instance of, instantiate, power type, refine. Okay, so here you can see the dependency, how to assign payment by booking or transactions. Okay, so yes, see, you can see this dependency between these two classes. Okay, so uses booking, uses payment. Okay, the instantiate stereotype, how to use this stereotype. Okay, car factory, the car class is instantiated by the car factory class. Okay, so car is produced in car factory. Okay, so this car factory instantiate the car. Okay, that is the dependency between these two classes. So refine is one of the stereotype. There are several stereotype. Okay, so search controller uses search engine. Okay, so there are two stereotypes that apply to dependency relationship among packages. First one is access, and second one is import. So that is not in your syllabus, but you, for your purpose, I am telling you that there are several stereotypes is there. Okay, so two stereotypes apply to dependency relationship among use cases. Where whenever we are going to use draw any use case diagrams, so we are going to use stereotype like extend or include. Okay, this is in your syllabus. Okay, what is the extend and what is include? I already told you in first chapter. Okay, what is include and what is extend. Okay, so well, whenever we are going to modeling interaction among objects, then we are going to use stereotypes like become or call or copy. Okay, send. So there are multiple stereotypes are there. Okay, under dependencies. Then second kind of relationship is generalization. That means inheritance. Whenever we are going to inherit any class, that time we are going to use the generalization relationship. It consists of is a relationship. Okay, so a generalization is a relationship between a general thing called superclass or parent class. Okay, and some more specific kind of thing, that is subclass. Okay, here you can see the inheritance. Okay, multiple, how to give. Here you can see the asset may be a bank account, real estate, or security. Here you can see the generalization relationship. Okay, so this is the multiple inheritance. Okay, in this diagram you can see the multiple inheritance. Here you can see the bank account. Okay, bank account is a checking account, or it consists of checking account or saving account. This is the generalization relationship. Okay, how to noted that how to denote this generalization relationship. See this, okay? While designing or while modeling any inheritance in that class diagram, you can give the generalization relationship, okay? So it UML defines one stereotype and four constraints that may be applied to the generalization relationship. Okay, first one is implementation. What implementation is? It specifies that the child inherits the implementation of the parent. Okay, child inherits the implementation of parent class. Okay, but does not make public nor support its interfaces. Okay, it just only implements that class. Okay, so then complete is there, then another one is incomplete, okay, disjoint, overlapping, okay. So third relationship is association relationship, okay. There may be a question in exam like define or differentiate between aggregation and generalization with suitable examples. So you have to write some short note on aggregation relationship and generalization, and you have to give the example for that relationships, okay. So third one relationship is association relationship. Okay. So an association is a structural relationship. Association is structural relationship specifying that objects of one thing are connected to objects of another thing. Okay. So what association is? So there is a link between that relationship. Okay. The link is relationship between two objects. Okay, where association is the relationship between two classes. Association is the relationship between two classes or two objects, okay. So there may be a question like define association, okay. What association represents? What is association relationship for 1 marks, okay, in exam, okay. So what association is? It represents the structural relationship between the classes, okay. So they are bidirectional, okay. Association relationship is bidirectional and it can be traversed in both the direction, okay. So with different conditions, the direction implied by their name is called forward direction or opposite direction, okay, or it's also called as an inverse direction, okay. So there are four basic adornments that apply to an association, okay. A name, the role at each end of the association, okay. Then the multiplicity and aggregation, okay. So first one is navigation. So given a plain an add-on association between two classes, okay, such as book and library, it's possible that navigate from objects of one kind of objects to the another objects, okay. So we are going to navigate from book to library, okay. So these are some what we can say, some adornments to that, or some suitable properties of that association, okay. Here you can see the association navigation, okay. This is the association relationship and with multiplicity, okay. One user having multiple password, okay. So this is the navigation, one to many relationship, association navigation. This is the association, this is the one way, okay. This is one direction association, okay. Next one is visibility. You can provide the visibility with that association link, okay. Here you can see the bidirectional association. This is the bidirectional association between user group and user, okay. Many to many association, many to many multiplicity is there here, okay. You can give the visibility with that association. This is the bidirectional association, this is the one directional association, okay. Then third one is qualification. Given an object at one end of association, to identify an object or set of objects of the other end, okay, we can give the qualifier with that class, okay. Here you can see that we have given the work days as the class, and we have given the qualifier for that class with association. This is the bidirectional association, okay. It can traverse from both the sides, from work days to redundant or return item, okay. Then interface specifier. There are four properties of that association relationship, okay. So you can give the role, okay. In an association between two classes, the association itself might have some properties, okay. So we have seen that. association classes, association between the company and person. Okay, see, this is the association, how to define or how to denote that association between the two classes. Okay, or we can join the association class like this. Okay, then there are some constraint for that association relationships. There may be a question like what is role name, define role name for 1 marks. So what is role here? A role denotes purpose with which one class is associated with another class. For example, class A and class B. There is a bidirectional relationship between or bidirectional association between the class A and class B. So role A and role B for that both the classes. So what role is defined? The role is defined by the association of an object and describes how one objects participate with another objects. Okay. So there are different roles for different classes. Okay. So there may be question for 1 mark like what is role and define the role names. Okay. So we have seen the multiplicity for relationships. Okay. Exactly one, zero or one, m to n, that is numerically specified, or from zero to many, one to many. Okay. There are different types of multiplicity. Okay. So there are different what we can say different, there are many types of associations that exist like qualified association, generic association, recursive association, navigation, or association, association class, order association. They, from that we have seen some different types of association here. Okay, the qualifier, navigation, okay, association class, order association we have seen. Okay, there may be some questions like what is qualified association? We have seen the qualified association here. Okay, here composition association, interface association, qualification. Okay, what is qualified association? Okay, there may be questions for 1 marks. Okay, where we have seen what is qualifier here. Okay, then we have seen the visibility. We have seen the navigation associations. Okay, so there are different associations available in structural modeling. Okay, composite association. Then we have seen the association classes. Okay, see here the what this is the association class. Okay, how to denote this association class with the association relationship. Okay, then next part is next part is the constraint. Okay, there are 5 constraint in association relationship like implicit relationship, ordered. These are the constraint. Okay, changeable, add only, frozen. Okay, so next one is aggregation relationship, that is aggregation relationship or realization relationship. Okay, so here you can see the how this aggregation or realization will be defined. Okay, this is the way we can give the realization relationship between two classes. Okay, here you can see the realization of use case. Okay, how to denote that realization, see this. Okay, so that's it for today's session. Thank you.